I want to talk to you about the state of the hobby.
If you like D&D, then this is a video worth watching. So that was a little snippet from Jim Murphy's most recent video. If you don't know who Jim Murphy is, then go watch Matthew Colville. I bet you already know who that is. These guys are homies and kind of from that same generation. His How to Be a Great Minimalist DM has been hugely influential on my style of DMing. So when I say that I think Jim Murphy is wrong in a lot of what he said in that video, I say that with respect on his name, right? I think Jim Murphy's a great guy, but your video kind of rang a couple bells in my head of like, ooh, this kind of feels like RPG Doomsday, say. And I know that because I have also said that. I have also felt that way about the hobby, that it feels like it's ending and that it's not the same as it was. And I don't know. I just want to kind of give you my perspective on it now that at least for me, I'm kind of out of that perspective. If that makes sense. Right off the top, I just want to point out, I am making this not to do a like, boo, Jim, I think you're wrong. Not at all. I'm actually doing this for the opposite reason. I want to show them that the community is very much alive, and something that I've never really seen in the D&D community that I kind of hope to maybe set as an example with this video is some dialogue between the creators. It's always kind of felt like every D&D creator is living in their own little bubble, and it's like, so you're so worried to pop it because this is kind of it's a very unique hobby and industry to try and make a living out of. I don't know, it hasn't felt like it has the same back and forth communication that I would like to see. So Jim, I think you're wrong, but I love you and I'm excited to hopefully see a response from you. All right, so you said that you're worried that D&D might go away, basically, or die out. And there's a couple other things we'll talk about later on in this, but I would just point out, if something like a vinyls can come back and the next generation can get super into it, things like a straight up role-playing game, pen and paper at the table, we'll probably have the same thing if it hasn't already kind of gone through that several times, right? Also, you kind of gave the example of like friendly local game stores might go away because no one needs to buy minis anymore because it's all online. And like you only see 5e stuff in the local store that opened up near you. I live in Utah, which is like the nerdiest state in the whole country, but we have tons of friendly local game stores that carry all kinds of stuff. One of my favorites, Game Night Games, just down the road from me, has like Morkborg, and they have Candle Obscura, although they have a lot of those. That doesn't seem like that's sold very well, just saying. But they've got lots of sword lesbians there, so I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. The claim that module adventures, your players can't impact them, is very out of pocket. I think that's crazy. I ran Curse of Strahd, and I ran it for a couple different groups, and every single one of them was going in entirely different directions. Sure, at the end of it, they're all going to fight Strahd, but that's what we all want to do. That's why we ran the module. So to me, I feel like that claim only stands if it's like you play the story exactly as it's written, and nobody does that. I do agree with you though that Wizards of the Coast is making D&D more and more of like an online sort of video game thing. I think that's dumb. I hope they, if anything, I hope they kind of try and do both, right? It's a weird mutant hybrid kind of thing. But if they do go all in on online, then just hell, I'll let Morkborg become the new default RPG. I think that would be dope. I would also say, just on the topic of friendly local game stores, that online commerce and kind of RPG sales moving online, I think has a lot of strengths to it, or pros. You're able to sell to a far larger global audience and reach people who might otherwise never ever learn what an RPG was if they didn't have a friendly local game store, right? So I think that's a good thing. And I would add to this too that it's up to you and me, not Wizards of the Coast or even your friendly local game store, to teach the next generation how to do the cool DIY homebrewy stuff that we all love. That's our job as people who are super passionate about this, not the job of the business owner, I would say. And then two last little things. You mentioned hologram minis. I kind of chuckled at that because barely anybody has even like got into 3D printing yet. But I do think that hologram minis would be super sick. And the last thing is, I don't think this is a crisis of like D&D going away or how the game is played or where the game is played. I think it's a crisis of people not knowing how to do artistic expression and how to foster creativity. I think the prior generation kind of did a really bad job of engaging with their kids and showing them how to be vulnerable with this kind of stuff. And obviously social media didn't help with that either. So I hope that we also can kind of teach people that, hey, you know what's really cool? Baldur's Gate 3. You know what else is really cool? Risking looking like an idiot, making your own stuff up and trying to be artistic and potentially wasting time making something kind of cool, right? had to run out the door, so I'm filming this in my car, not driving. But right here at the end, I just wanted to remind you all, go watch Jim Murphy's video, hear what he had to say, and then I would love to hear your all's opinions. Just like I said at the beginning, like, I want a dialogue. I'm pretty bored of just like throwing out ideas on YouTube and just being like, well, job done. Like, that's lame as hell. It's way more fun to actually like talk to other people. Granted, talk to other people on the internet in the comment section is not a substitute for the real thing, but it's still one of the best ways to get opinions from all kinds of different DMs from all over the place. So yeah, watch it, leave a tithing, leave a like on this video, and I'll talk to you guys next time we say these things in their unholy names. Amen.